Hey there, Lisa Leitner here with another segment of 5 Minutes to FAPE, which is my little podcast of a podcast where I break down important IEP and special education topics into 5-minute chunks for you to digest and become a better advocate. Today, I want to talk about, and good Lord, I hope I can stay within 5 minutes on this one. I want to talk about unofficial suspensions. AKA, they called me and asked me to come get my kid. And then I say, parents, oh, he was suspended. No, he wasn't suspended. They just asked me to come get him. He was having a hard day. Well, your child was asked to leave, and his peers were not. That, my friends, is a suspension. They are just getting around their state required paperwork as far as reporting how often they suspend kids. They are getting around this by just saying he's having a hard day, come get him. And let me just say this. I am not unsympathetic or unempathetic to the many struggles that our public schools have and how under-resourced they have. I have been an active public education funding lobbyist for 15 years. I know more about how significant these issues are probably than you do because it's dire. I get that. It is dire out there. At the same time, this is not my problem to solve, right? I am not the school superintendent. I am not the school board. I'm not the LEA. So staffing the building for appropriate behavior supports is not my problem. My problem is to fix the IEP of the kid in front of me whose parent called me and asked. Okay. So how do you fix this, right? You're being called to come get your kid all the time. First of all, you can refuse because it doesn't. What it does is it helps the school, right? If they have a kid who's not having a great day and who is requiring a lot of extra assistance, and they don't have the staff to provide it, it solves their problem. But what it's told your child is that if I'm having a hard day, I just have to ask a certain way, and I'll just get to go home. And I want to be at home because at home they're much more supportive than they are here. Here it's hard and I can't read and the lights are too bright and the sound is too noisy and all these different things. I'm masking all day and I can't take it anymore. My grandma just died or my dog just died and nobody understands me. So if I act a certain way, I just get to go home. So it's actually reinforcing the negative behavior when you do this. Gather and use data. Make sure that you sign them out of the office, the school office, every single time. And when you sign them out on that book that all schools have, reason for pickup, school called me and told me to come get them. Take a picture of that with your phone. I'm serious. If you want it to stop, you got to get serious. You're like, I don't know. There's going to be 2 admins in the office and I don't want them looking at me weird. Do you want to solve the problem or not? Because I'll tell you what, I had a mom who had 8 or 9 of those things on her phone where she would go to pick up the kid, sign him out in the book. She would take a picture of it, send those 8 or 9 pictures to the LEA and say, okay, what are we going to do about this? Because it was a school refusing to do an FBA. So he doesn't need an FBA. Really? Because you asked me to come get him 9 times in the past 6 weeks. Okay. So you're going to have to gather and use data, keep track. Yes, you can refuse to pick them up if, unless they're vomiting, diarrhea, fever, certain things that that do get a child sent home. You can refuse to come get them. Again, I don't want to tell anybody how to parent their kid. If my kid was having an absolutely terrible day at school and crying and acting out and all that, it hurts my heart to think that my child is there. Engage your child. Get them to verbalize if they can. I'm not saying sit down and interrogate them, but hey, what got you so upset today? And you know the right time to talk about it, right? The right time to talk about it may not be on that car ride home, but maybe later the next day, the next morning, the next, whatever. Hey, what got you so upset yesterday? What do you think would help you be more comfortable in the classroom? hey, this has happened a couple of times now. What do you think you need? What do you think would help you to not feel this way? One area where I think a lot of IEP teams fail is that, and the parents included, is that the IEP itself is so directive at the child, and we don't collaborate with the child often enough and ask them what's upsetting them, what works for them, what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, what they dislike, what they despise, and why, and what could make it better for them. Okay, we need to engage them, and you get their buy-in and their collaboration and their suggestions. And the teams that do this, I find, have a lot of success in fixing negative behaviors. If your child does get an FBA for this, please read my articles on FBAs, because a lot of FBAs just don't go deep enough into the real issues that the child is having. And without that, the problem isn't going to be solved. When kids feel safe and supported and secure, they don't act out. I mean, it's really as simple as that. So your next steps, I'm going to send the link to my behavior, not send the link, but put the link of my behavior info, which I said is out the wazoo. I think I have maybe 60 or 70 articles just on behaviors on my website, all kinds of stuff. And a lot of it was written by BCBAs, not just me. I do have a mini course on behaviors and IEPs that you may want to check out. And of course, thank you for watching this episode, but please tune in to the next 5 minutes to FAPE session. And subscribe and tell your friends. Thank you. I'm really surprised that not even 7 minutes, because I could talk about behaviors all day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you at the next episode.